Alright, welcome back. Lecture 8, Part 2. Management on Bug Finding. Well, in different textbooks, we may have different terms. But anyway, here, in general, we can call them bugs, right? But also, sometimes you may have some fine-defined say defects, error, failure. They all mean different levels of bugs. Please refer to the notes to find the difference. But in general, you can all call them say bugs, I believe. The ICT testing is the search for bugs. It is not a proof that the system works as required. So remember, testing is carried out according to the business requirement. But the business requirement sometimes may not incorrect, may not accurate, right? Or the business requirement changes. So when we say testing, the main purpose is to minimize the possible number of bugs. It cannot prove that the system works as required. Okay. Now, as a test team manager, your goal is to minimize your goal is to find the bugs as many as possible from a given resource. For example, time, human power, and so on. Right. So you, in order to guarantee your quality of your job, so you do need to make a correct testing architecture, correct or appropriate test plan. You have to be adaptive, because when we talk about management, it's not only in the scientific domain, 1 + 2 always equals 3, but in management, things are more not that scientific, right? So you have to be adaptive. I want to say again, not the strongest animal survive, not the smartest animal survive. It is the most adaptive animal survive. So you have to be adaptive. When you do the management, then you need to synchronize your job with the goal of the whole company, right? With the goal of the company executive, financial situation, quality of service to our customers, and so on. Why do bugs get through? You know, even the best software company like Microsoft, their products also have a lot of bugs. So they release patches from time to time. But even the products has been in the job market for years. So there is a lot of reasons why bugs get through. The most related to testing is we always do not have enough time to do testing. Because our customers, they have expectation, they want the software today, they want it now, right? So usually, in order to obtain their contract, usually we promise them, say, half a year, we will deliver your perfect software. But actually, when you develop it, it may need, say, 7 months. So the testing time will be pressed to the minimum. So the most important thing is we do not test them enough. And sometimes it's impossible to give you sufficient time to do the testing. Okay. So that's the reason we need to test the most important part as soon as possible. Put them in the first priority. Right? That's from the testing perspective. there's also some other reasons. For example, when they do the business analysis, they misunderstood the business requirement, or the business management of the business requirement changed after, say, a few years. So your old software has to be upgraded to meet the new requirement of the business. Or if you can treat this as a bug. There's also even the business analysis are correct on the paper, but the programmer, they may misunderstood the requirement, or they understood the requirement correctly, but they made a mistake when they do coding. So there's a lot of possible reasons why we have bugs. But anyway, you bear in mind that it is impossible to have a software is 100% bug-free, right? Well, then another big problem is we don't know how many bugs are there. We do not have the ground truth. So if you do not have the ground truth, then it is quite tough for you to decide how much time should I invest to the testing for this part of the software, right? But we can estimate, we can use statistics, we can look at the similar projects or similar situations based on their experience, how many bugs in different parts. We have this kind of statistics in place for such kind of software, for such kind of development team, for such kind of situation, such kind of programming language or platform. We can estimate, say, every 1,000 line of code, roughly how many bugs are there. If we have this statistics in place, it is a guideline for us to decide our investment of our testing resource. For example, for this complex function, then for different parts, we may allocate, of course, also based on the other factors. For example, FMEA, we decide this the enterprise service bus, this part, we do 84 tests. Say some parts we do 5 tests, 61 tests, and so on, right? So we based on the experience, we based on statistics, then we estimate how many bugs possibly somewhere, right, in different modules of our software or our system. Then we allocate, we decide our testing plan, allocate our testing priority. Okay. Okay, then we may carry out the test. One thing is, for example, for the enterprise service bus ESB module, we estimate, they say this place maybe have say 150 bugs. Then when we found 128, then at this time we only estimate there will maybe 150. So you do not have the ground truth. Once we have 128, should we stop or should we keep going? If we keep going, we may invest more time but find less bugs, right? So usually there is a called a 20-80 rule. If you invest 20% of the time, you may find at the first 20% of the time, you may find 80% of the bugs. But for the rest of the 20% of the bugs, if you want to find them all, you need to invest another 80% of the time. So when do you stop? Then that's a management decision, right? Of course, in terms of mathematics, we also have a set of tools, for example, optimization tools, to decide where we stop. Although we don't know how many bugs remain there, but we we can sort of figure out the optimal points to stop. Well, please refer to the notes about digging down. Quality principles. Bugs are often found in clusters. Functional, architectural, developer tools, language based. Okay, so it is in natural. We also have this phenomenon. You see, most of the people living in a few cities, right? So most of the bugs, they would like to stay together as clusters. So especially in the functional modules, we may have more bugs. Okay, that's a feature of our world, right? So the bugs, they used to be in different clusters. Well, you have a perfect plan. When you do the plan, you have, say, from test part A, then part C, part D, part E, then we achieve the part B, right, of the software. However, it is possible when you go through the step 3, you cannot go through because of the progress. The software cannot progress further. So at this moment, you may have a detour to continue your test, right? So once again, you have to be adaptive. So you have an original plan from A to B, but when you on the journey, you may have some accidents. You have something changed, so you have to bear in mind of this possibility, and then have a plan B for it. So bugs can change a lot of things. Please refer to the notes. Changing your original plan, changes the architecture of your software, architecture of your testing, and so on. How do we measure the performance of our test? Right. So in this diagram, we have defects found. Monday we have 42, found 42. Tuesday we found 35, and then Wednesday we find 11, and then Thursday we have 5. This diagram looks good. So sometimes you may ask your question: should we stop here? So after Friday we should stop. If this is smoke testing, then should we really get a conclusion about the smoke testing? Okay, so of course, in the real situation, excuse me, things may be different, because this diagram looks good, so you find less and less bugs, or you say it is more the time interval to find bugs is larger and larger. That means maybe we have less and less bugs in the system, right? So of course, in the real situation, it may not look like this, because it depends on which part you test on Monday, which part you test on Tuesday. So okay, in this diagram we have 2 lines. One is a bug, find how many bugs we found in the red line, then the bugs we fixed in the blue line. This diagram looks good, right? Just like the coronavirus. Well, you see the bugs are dropping, right? It looks good. However, this is only one perspective to look at the things. So maybe we need more angles to look at our performance of testing. Well, this diagram makes more sense. Right? Cumulative bug found and bug fixed. You find that we find more and more bugs, and then we fixed more and more bugs. However, the gap between the bug found and the bugs fixed, the gap getting bigger and bigger. That means our development team should speed up. Right? This diagram offers us more information, more insights. We say for each test we may have different phases. Because in phase 1 we find the bugs and then return feedback to the development team. Then they fix them. Then we do the second round testing. Then that's the phase 2 testing. We find less bugs, right? And this is supposed to be this way. Phase 2 supposed to have less bugs. Well, in the previous diagrams, we only look at the numbers. However, the numbers is only one aspect of the business. Another big aspect is about the quality, right? So first day you find 50 bugs, second day you find 30 bugs, but then what's the quality of the bugs? Just as we did in assignment 1 or assignment 2, right? So we need in order to make your software high quality, you have to find the functional bugs first, right? The cosmetic bugs, they are not that important for our quality. So maybe you can leave the cosmetic bugs later. So this slide shows us the level 1 bugs, level 2 bugs are more important, right? So level 5 are the, for example, cosmetic bugs. So maybe that's not that important in terms of quality of software. So quantity and quality. Quality principle. Testing that a system works is half a job. You must also test that it does not do unwanted things. Well, when we do testing, usually we follow the happy path, right? We want to make sure the system does what we want, but we also need to bear in mind that we need also to test that it does not do unwanted things. Okay. Well, I think that's pretty much for part 2. Oh, sorry. Kill them before they cost you. This one we discussed at the early weeks. So this is the life cycle of your software development. So if you can find the bugs as early as possible, then you can minimize your cost. If a bug you found it in service, cost you much more resources to fix them. Okay, that's for part 2. Okay, thank you.